to you.
The opposition leader describes yesterday's budget as one of torture. Barbados Light and Power sent home another set of employees. And in sports, 2 semi-finalists determined in primary schools football.
The CBC News headlines brought to you with the good wishes of Sagicor General. Wise financial thinking for life.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. This is the CBC Evening News. Opposition leader Mia Mottley has called the 2015 budget delivered by Finance Minister Chris Sinclair a budget of torture. She says it has no strategy for growth and took $200 million out of the pockets of Barbadians who are already experiencing severe hardships. She made the comments during her reply in the lower house, claiming the finance minister has failed to turn around the economy during his 6 years in that post.
This minister yesterday asked you to pay more to eat in Barbados. This minister yesterday asked you to pay more to drink milk and to drink juice. This minister yesterday asked you to pay more to live in your own house. This minister yesterday asked you to pay to speak on your cell phone. This minister glories yesterday in the fact that if anybody owes any back taxes at all, they will not be allowed to work in Barbados to pay off the back taxes in the absence of a tax clearance certificate.
Ms. Mottley claims despite a 19-month fiscal consolidation program, the deficit has worsened.
The current account deficit, fiscal deficit, is $215 million worse today than it was at the beginning of the 19-month program. The current account fiscal deficit has worsened by $215 million than it did when he started the fiscal adjustment program in August 2013, asking Barbadians to bear sacrifice for him to carry them home safely. The current account debt servicer has worsened by $240 million after the 19-month fiscal consolidation program.
Ms. Mottley says Barbadians have been given a raw deal in the budget, with many allowances they were accustomed to claiming for in their income taxes wiped out completely.
He doesn't tell you you lose mortgage interest. He doesn't tell you that you lose home repairs. He doesn't tell you that you lose credit unions. He doesn't tell you that pensioners are now reeling. I've had no less than 10 calls today from pensioners and for people saving in registered retirement savings plans, do not know where they stand, made commitments on the understanding that they would get some kind of allowance against their income tax. Mr. Speaker, you know what was the most classic statement? That the minister told you that you will have more money in your pockets.
Ms. Mottley asked government to rethink moves to deny Barbadians work or foreign exchange for tax arrears. These individuals will now need a tax clearance certificate. She says this will lead to an underground economy. She also vowed to reverse the policy of charging Barbadians tuition fees for university education, saying it only costs the government of Barbados $35 million a year to fund such a policy in a near $5 billion economy. She contended a tax on slot machines over the last 4 years could have funded Barbadians' education at the UWI.
A potential $24 million a year, times 4, almost $100 million in this country, sir, foregone by this government in increased fees announced by this government, and you tell me that you can't pay $35 million a year when you're foregoing $24 million for gambling?
Coming up, more workers at the Barbados Light and Power sent home.
Line, we know
don't need any tricks or gimmicks. We treat all our prepaid customers like MVPs. MVP means maximum value per person, maximum respect. Subscribe to any 1 gig 30-day data plan and enjoy a reduced calling rate of just 49 cents to any network, any landline, anytime. With Lime, you pay just 49 cents and call any phone in Barbados, so you won't have to top up as often. Put data on your phone and keep your money in your pocket with Lime MVP.
You've got a new friend when it comes to auto insurance. Introducing DrivePal from Sagicor General. This groundbreaking new technology will help you save up to 35% on your car insurance, depending on your driving habits. That's 35% in addition to the no-claim discount and other available discounts, such as multi-policy or multi-vehicle discounts. And because DrivePal is your friend, it's free and easy. Simply sign up for auto insurance from Sagicor General and our trained technicians will install DrivePal in your vehicle. Then start driving. DrivePal, powered by EasyTrack, will monitor your vehicle's speed and watch for harsh braking, cornering and acceleration. As long as you stay within the designated measures, you'll continue to pay smaller motor premiums. DrivePal even has accident detection with a link to Sagicor General's emergency SOS services, just in case. Now don't worry, we know you value your privacy. So information collected from DrivePal will only be used to help you save and nothing else. Pals stay in touch. DrivePal will send email updates making it easy to track your progress. It will also post your driving habits and those of anyone else driving your car on a secure online personal dashboard for review. This allows anyone driving your car to improve their habits while helping you save more. Make a new friend. Switch to Sagicor General Auto Insurance, get DrivePal and start saving today. Sagicor General, wise financial thinking for life.
The 2015 budget was dissected and broken down by business leaders representing a cross-section of Barbados who came together to discuss and analyze its implications. The opportunity was provided through the annual post-budget breakfast discussion organized by the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry and PricewaterhouseCoopers.
There was consensus among business leaders that the budget presentation was more focused on revenue generation. Some areas were highlighted and welcomed, and others criticized. President of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Tracy Shuffler, says businesses wanted to hear more of the potential impacts. She says the growing renewable energy sector was left out. Ms. Shuffler is of the view that there is need for clarity in some areas in the budget presentation. Economist Dr. Winston Moore questioned whether all of the tax measures can be implemented within a short time frame. In terms of government's debt objectives, he says government has not yet reached that target. Dr. Moore also gave his take on the proposed excise tax on cellular phone calls. He is of the view that this can lead to some strange behavior among mobile phone users in Barbados.
I'm not too sure how this one is going to work because I think most individuals realize that it could lead to some very strange behavioral patterns. Because one of the simple things that you can do is simply use more database voice calling. So you can use your Skype, you use your WhatsApp calling. So it might actually mean that Barbados will be a little bit strange in terms of its use of data and use of calling in terms of other countries around the world, because you can simply use your data to make calls. So maybe a bit more thought might need to go into that cell phone tax.
CEO of Banks Holdings Limited, Richard Cozier, says there were a few surprises in the budget presentation. He shared his company's concerns following the announcement of a tax on soft drinks.
In one area it's going to be positive, in the other area there's a slight negative. But we support, as Tracy did, anything to deal with non-communicable diseases. In our business, we would like our consumers to live very long lives and keep consuming. And, and that is something that we would want in every society. I'm sorry, every society would want to do. The levying of the tax will force manufacturers like us to look again at some of our formulations where we can.
President of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Sunil Chatrani, says the BHTA had not lobbied for much in terms of benefits from the budget. He again, however, pushed for the promised concessions. Several other business leaders and economists took to the floor, venting their concerns and posing questions too. the panelists. Kishma Senjis, CBC News.
Well, 19 more people have been severed by the Barbados Light and Power Company as it remains locked in a dispute with the Barbados Workers Union over its restructuring exercise. This after the two sides met yesterday and failed to come to an agreement. Afterwards, the BWU said another meeting was on the cards. But the BL&P's Human Resource Manager, Roger Babaram, told CBC News Today that's not the case.
Mr. Babaram says BL&P's understanding was not to have another meeting, but to go away and reflect on the discussion. He says that's what they did and eventually made a decision.
We made whatever proposals that we thought that we were able to implement, we were able to do so, but there were still some areas that we were not able to make any headway in, and we do not foresee making headway in those. And, you know, we had to advance, or we had to implement our plan.
Mr. Babaram adds that the 19 job cuts affected most departments.
Those affected were advised in one-on-one meetings this morning, and all of the impacted employees will receive their due severance in accordance with the law and will be given due support to assist them as they move forward. Job losses are never easy, but the elimination of these positions was a necessary step in moving Light and Power to more efficient operations.
He adds that the decision could not be delayed further because of safety concerns.
A lot of our employees were very distracted during the whole process, the consultation process as well as the non-voluntary process. They were very distracted, and we wanted to ensure that we did not have any untoward or fatal accidents or incidents occurring because people, you know, their minds may not have been 100% on the task and job at hand.
Mr. Babaram says the power company has a contingency plan should the BWU respond with industrial action. As part of its restructuring, BL&P has removed more than 90 employees from its payroll through voluntary separation and severance. The company now has a staff complement of 360 workers. Kent Jerson, CBC News.
The Democratic Labour Party has lost another one of its long-serving members. Valen Franklin, an executive member of the party and member of the DLP General Council, passed away at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital over the last 24 hours after a brief illness. The 76-year-old joined the party in the 1960s and served in several capacities within the party. DLP General Secretary George Pilgrim described Franklin as a proud member and supporter of the Democratic Labour Party and said he had a passion for the issue of housing. Scores of people turned out at the St. Patrick's Anglican Church for the funeral of Shamar Weeks, who allegedly hanged himself on May 14th at his home in St. Lucie. Students from his former schools, the Gordon Walters Primary and the Coleridge and Parry Secondary, paid their tributes in song. However, during the service, media personnel were escorted out of the church by the Royal Barbados Police Force. The media were told by funeral director Mark Jones that Reverend Angela Phillips, along with family members, did not want coverage of the funeral. The evening news will continue after this break.
Sunday, June 21st from 4 p.m. Some of the world's mightiest soca heroes will descend upon the Hilton Beach. Edwin Yearwood and Crossfire remind you why they are the legends in the soca world. Here's soca superstar Ruby, the mighty conch shell Olive Dominica, WCK from Trinidad, Black, alongside Kirk Brown, your DJs Puffy and the Soca Superman. Admission only $60 and $200 all-inclusive VIP. So get your tickets now. Sunday, June 21st, Soca Heroes.
When you need space to grow, there's nothing like the home you own. Let Scotiabank open the door for you with competitive rates and support every step of the way. Visit us today and discover what's possible.